Remember? What were we talking about before I started this? The corruption. The Fani Willises, the Clintons, the James Comeys of the world. If you don't have an inner monologue, there's no chatter in your head. It might show up sometimes, but for the most part, your mind is quiet. It can feel like you aren't thinking about anything. Ogle explains. Instead of experiencing the voiceover or narration, you take in information but don't really think about it. A person without an inner monologue isn't constantly imagining their next move in their head. Stop and think about this. Instead of experiencing the voiceover or narration, you take in information but don't really think about it. You take in information, but you don't really think about it. You take in information, but you don't really think about it. Now, for me, that's just bonkers. I don't know how that person gets out of bed. But there are large swaths of people who look and nothing's going on in their head. They can see the information. They're taking it in. No analysis. It's tough to perfectly explain each perspective. The human experience is complex after all, but you'll likely know which group you fall into after hearing about both. If you aren't sure, pay attention to your thoughts. If you find yourself talking in your head about what you're doing or thinking, then it's likely that you experience an inner monologue. Most of the people who are going to go out and vote for Fani Willis to be the DA do not have an inner monologue. I've said this several times. Large swaths of Black people just do what they're told. If you tell us to do it, then we'll do it. And we never make the leap. Why did they say that? That's never, imagine, see, we're talking about that person. Like, they told you to do this. You didn't ask why. They told you to vote for that Democrat. You never ask why. And then you take it one step further. Well, you're Black, aren't you? Well, yeah, of course I'm Black. Oh, well, then you're a Democrat. Because Democrats are for Black people. They champion the Black experience. And a person with no inner monologue goes, okay. So they're getting the information, but they don't think it through. They're getting the information, but they know they can't make heads or tails. I remember when Russia invaded Ukraine. One of the things that Vladimir Putin said really stuck in my head. She goes, I'm going to denazify Ukraine. I thought, wait, what? What did he say? That was like, what does that mean? It means exactly what it sounds, what it means. You're going to denazify. Yeah, it means exactly what it sounds like it means. And I was so like perplexed by it. I had to look it up. I go, that couldn't mean that, could it? I look it up, and that's exactly what it means. Purge them of Nazism. And then that took me to a whole different rabbit hole, man. I'm like, holy crap. Well, Democrats rely on people with no inner monologue. People that don't question authority. If someone told you to do it, you do it because they told you to do it. Now, don't think for a second that I'm telling you that Democrats are, by and large, people without an inner monologue. I'm not saying that at all. Understand, the people on Wall Street that gave Joe Biden $74 million for his campaign for 2020, trust me, they all have an inner monologue. It's just evil. Trust me, Hillary Clinton has an inner monologue. It's just evil. Unfortunately, she knows the people who follow her don't. She knows they're easily manipulated. When I say something, they're never going to question it. Why? Well, it's me. That's what you get with the Black community. You were told to do something, so you do it. Why? You never questioned anything. You never said, well, hang on a second. Let's see here. It's been like 5, 6, 7 decades. We've been voting for Democrats the whole time, and things have gotten exponentially worse. See, that's the conclusion you'd have to draw. Right? We never get to that. We never come to that conclusion. Why? No inner monologue. So for those of you out there who think that Fani Willis won't be reelected as DA, because the scary part of this is a person with no inner monologue, their vote counts just as much as yours. Their vote counts just as much as yours.